Hey guys, so I recently rewatched Nisemonogatari in 2021 and I watched the uncensored version. It is kind of the Blu-ray here, and of course you can buy the DVD. I know it's also streams on Aniplex, but let me give you kind of like my review of it. It originally aired the summer of 2012 and it is available on Crunchyroll, but they don't have the best quality. So if you can buy the legit version or watch it elsewhere, that'd be cool. But let me talk to you about this, because this is the follow-up series to Bakemonogatari. And with Bakemonogatari, the first season was great. There was a nice balance of kind of the back and forth chatter. The art is really aesthetic in the sense that symmetry is kind of a big deal in that show. And if it's asymmetrical, it does mean something or another. So Oshino from season 1, he's kind of an asymmetrical character, and even his background, even the school with everything on, that's asymmetrical. But Nisemonogatari might not be for everyone, and I'll try to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but while kind of touching on the key points. So Nisemonogatari basically is about the two sisters. You have Karen and Tsukihi, and they're Araragi sister, and you can see the way they connect that is with their hair. So their hair both stick up at the top, just like he does, and this story mainly center around them. Bakemonogatari is about monster stories, where Nisemono means fake, so it's about fake monster stories. That's kind of a theme, but you're gonna have to watch the show to kind of find the meaning in both of these girls. Now, let's start with Karen, because Karen is very athletic. She is the stronger of the duo, and the duo, they call themselves the Fire Sisters, and they're warriors of justice. But Karen is the stronger of the sister, and she's more athletic. She can walk on her hands and her fingertip. There's a great fight scene in it with her involved, and she's definitely the more athletic one. Her design is great. It is the side ponytail that you see later in other anime designs like Rent-A-Girlfriend Chizaru. But you can see here, she goes through a lot of different outfits throughout the show, but the athletic outfit is kind of her main outfit. The three at the top there, that's her main outfit, and that's what she wears. So you can tell just by looking at her, she's athletically strong. She's physically strong on the outside, and that is a huge contrast to her sister. And I'll talk about that when we get to Tsukihi. But with her story, there comes a lot of fan service. There's fan service in this show, and if you thought Bakemonogatari had a lot of fan service, Nisemono has some really incestuous fan service almost. So this is actually a very famous scene from this season of the show, and it's really just Araragi brushing his sister's teeth, but they do take it over the top. So if you're watching it with somebody else, or you know, your parents come in, whatever the case, your roommate comes in, you better be careful, because this scene will get you in trouble. They will not understand what's going on here, right? And you can see it's a pink background, the pink lighting. There's a lot of fan service. And I'm not just talking about his two sisters. The other characters have fan service too. I won't spoil who, but you need to be careful when you're watching this. It may turn some people off because of the huge fan service, but I still think kind of the story of the different monsters are worth it to watch here. With Karen, we have a new adversary. His name is Kaiki, and you need to figure out what his whole deal is. He's also involved in the monster world, but he has a very different role in it, and it ties back to the title Nisemonogatari, so I definitely worth checking it out. Even this scene here is when you first meet him, and you can see it's very ominous, it's very dark, there's red background, and the trees are all crooked to keep with that opposite of the symmetry kind of theme. So watch out for that, because it's actually a very cool story between him and other characters in the show. Now, with Karen, her animal there is Phoenix. I'm sorry, karenbee. Her animal's bee. And then the second part of the show is about Suki. So she's the phoenix. Karen's the bee, she's the phoenix. And she is different. She dresses very feminine, she's not very athletic, but of the two sisters, she's described as the more emotionally fierce one. So she's stronger on the inside, even though she looks feminine on the outside. Araragi describes her as kind of the fiercer, meaner of the two. So her story plays out very interestingly. You need to decide if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they're very different stories. I think for Karen's arc, because they're looking at other characters too from the first season, it's a little bit longer. With Suki, it's a lot shorter, but it does cover the topic. And of course, with Bakemonogatari, you have the back and forth dialogue, you have the great animation, you have some nice fight scenes in here that are definitely worth it for both sisters' story, so I definitely check it out. Now, as I was saying, her design is very feminine, so you can see her a lot in the kimono. There's not a lot of fan service in Nisemono for Suki, but again, she always wears this kimono and it's always kind of like draped to the side. So there is some fan service, but you know, if somebody walked in, it's not going to be as bad as Karen's scenes. So you're safe there for the second part of the season. Now, you have a new character here too, and I'm not going to reveal too much about her. Not her name, not other things about her, because it might give the story away. So I'll just leave it at that. So you have Kaiki kind of in the first season, and then you have her in the second half of the season. So definitely check it out, because she is actually a very cool character. Now, let's talk about some of the previous season 1 Bakemonogatari characters you may recognize. I think the most impactful character that is in season 2, Nisemono, is Shinobu. Now in season 1, she barely talks, right? So she barely talks, you don't know what she's like, there's a mystery of who she is. We know that from Bakemonogatari, she's linked to Araragi and he's half vampire because of her, and for some reason her powers are reduced because of him. So she actually plays a large role. There's some fan service here as well, but it's not too bad because she's like, you know, they do that trope where she's 1,000 years old plus, but she actually has a very influential season. So if you think Senjogahara has a very impactful moment with Araragi throughout season 1, Shinobu is that girl in season 2. So I think many of you guys might leave Senjogahara for Shinobu. You might already have, and if you do, just leave a comment, let me know, right? Is she best girl? I don't know. But definitely she plays a big impact. The other characters do make an appearance. I'm not going to spoil their look or kind of where they make their appearance, but definitely this show, the heart of the show is Shinobu, besides the two sisters. So would I recommend watching this? Well, yes, if you're a fan of Bakemonogatari, you do want to watch this. There's still that cunning dialogue back and forth. There is some very, very nice aesthetics. There are some fight scenes that are similar to the ones you expect from season 1. Looking at back now, you know, the voice for Araragi is the voice for Levi from Attack on Titan. So it's kind of funny when he reaches his lower registry, you're like, ah, that's Levi. But just be careful, guys, because it is very erotic, and I don't want you guys getting in trouble. So I definitely recommend this. Definitely check out the high def version somewhere if you can get it, and it will be a good watch. Alright guys, let me know what you think, and who is best girl? Is it Karen, is it Suki, or is it Shinobu? I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!